Welcome to Dare Yourself. I'm Natalie Kogan. This is a podcast where we talk about what it really takes to do something new, one dare at a time. I want to start with a thought experiment today. Ready? Okay, here it is. I want you to imagine a world where nothing unexpected can ever happen to you. You know exactly what tomorrow is like, and the day after that, and the year after that. Every conversation, every outcome, everything is fully predictable. There are no surprises, no unknowns, nothing you can't see coming. Does this sound wonderful to you? Or does this sound absolutely terrible? Neuroscientists actually have a name for this. It is called the dark room problem. And the reason it's a problem tells us something very surprising about what your brain actually wants. You know, very often people say, oh my God, I hate uncertainty, right? I'm sure you've thought this, right? I think this often myself, even though my whole work is helping people do new things and move through uncertainty. I'm like, I wish I know how it turns out. So we say we hate uncertainty, but here's the thing. If your brain truly hated uncertainty as much as you think it does, then this dark room scenario that I just presented to you, it would be paradise, but it isn't. And here's why. Think of your brain like a prediction machine. Your brain's job is making predictions about what's going to happen next, and it wants to be right. So it's constantly working to reduce uncertainty so that its predictions can be correct. And scientists noticed an obvious flaw. If that was the whole story, if all your brain wanted was to have no uncertainty, then the smartest room would be to sit in a dark, silent room where everything is predictable. But nobody wants that in their life. Even people who say they crave certainty would lose their minds in that kind of situation. So something else must be going on in our brain. When we say we hate uncertainty, we forget that we often spend a lot of our time creating it and actually seeking it out. Think about it. You watch that sports game precisely because you don't know how it ends, right? I'm recording this where the NBA finals are going on, and it's exciting because every game has uncertainty. You don't know how it's going to turn out. We do the puzzle because we don't know how it's going to come together. We travel somewhere new, especially precisely because it is a new thing we haven't experienced before. My family and I just came back from our trip to Japan, and it's a place I was there 30 years ago, but we haven't been there together. And it was wonderful and memorable precisely because it was all uncertain. So isn't that interesting that we say we hate uncertainty, but yet we constantly seek it out? And researchers who are studying play, actually, this is how they define what play is. It's where we deliberately create uncertainty so we can experience the pleasure of resolving it. Interesting, isn't it? The thing we claim to avoid is the thing we actually manufacture for fun. Because the reward that we're all seeking is not knowing everything, is not lack of uncertainty. The reward is reducing uncertainty. Your brain does not reward you. When I say reward you, I mean gives you a shot of dopamine, right? That makes you feel good. Your brain does not reward you for being certain. It rewards you for moving through uncertainty and coming out on the other side knowing more than you did before, right? Which means something a little bit uncomfortable, all right? Because it means that when you're waiting to feel certain before you act, before you do something new, you're not actually protecting yourself from the hard part. You're skipping the part, the good part, because that's what your brain rewards you for. You're skipping the part where you're moving through uncertainty and learning through it and learning more when you come out on the other side. Too little uncertainty and we don't feel that reward. We don't feel that dopamine. We don't learn anything. On the other side, and I do want to say this, too much uncertainty and it feels overwhelming. We can't resolve it. So I'm not suggesting blow up your life, only do uncertain things. But I am suggesting that you actually like uncertainty more than you think you do. And it's really meaningful and important to constantly experience right-sized unknowns in our life. And I want to tell you a story about seeing this actually in practice. So Susanna joined the last cohort of my Create Your Next mentorship, which just wrapped up a couple weeks ago. And Susanna's been painting watercolors for a really long time, but she hadn't really shared them with many people and kind of felt like she was hiding in a way as an artist. And so she decided to dare herself to do it, that she would share her work, even though she was nervous, even though she had a lot of doubt, and not just share it, she would actually make some of it available for sale. She talked about like having to overcome a lot of doubt inside, but she started to share her art on Instagram and in our group. And even before she had her first sale, Susanna said that she felt energized. She felt happier, right? Because she was overcoming the uncertainty of what it would be like to share her art. And she was feeling that reward from her brain because she was learning through it. And the cool thing is, and I love this, she actually sold a few of her pieces after just a few weeks and many more since. But the joy that she felt, the energy, it came from exactly what we're talking about. It came because she did something that she wasn't certain about, that she wanted to do, and her brain rewarded her for it with that feeling of being energized and excited. So I want you to think about a decision that you've been sitting on. Maybe it is about getting more of your work or your craft out into the world. Maybe it's a business you want to start or a book you want to start writing, whatever it is. Not deciding to do it, it might feel safer because at least you know what today looks like, right? You know what it's like to be here in this state of being. But now, hopefully, you know what safety actually is. It's that dark room that we've been talking about, maybe with a little bit better lighting. And that is not a place you want to be. The discomfort of undertaking this new thing that you're avoiding is the exact feeling your brain is built to reward you for, right? Undertaking some uncertainty to do the thing that you want to do is actually something your brain wants you to do. And it actually feels good when you do it. So this is my dare to you for this week. All right. This week, instead of removing a piece of uncertainty from your life, I want you to deliberately add one. Pick something where you genuinely don't know how it's going to go and make it something reasonable in size. So not something huge, but something that stretches you without stressing you out so much that you just don't do it. And don't call it taking a risk. Call it play, right? Learn from that research that I shared about play. When we do board games or puzzles or sports games, it's fun. And it's fun because we don't know how it's going to turn out. So when you undertake your dare, when you undertake something that is uncertain, don't call it taking a risk. Think about like playing. And I think that mindset is going to help you do it. And as always, I would love to hear from you. Did you do it? Did you undertake your dare? What was the uncertainty that you undertook? And notice how you feel when you do it. Notice how your brain rewards you for doing something new that you haven't done before and for learning how to move through it. That's all I have for today. As always, I love hearing from you. You can send me an email to natalie@happier.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment below, and I will be with you next week for another episode of Dare Yourself.